Yeah, and we back. I
We
know
back.
the
We
back to back
back.
shows kind of got people kind of crazy
We
because
back.
we just concluded a review of the Shy season 4 episode 8. However, another show that we're going to start reviewing is because we did Power Book 2, we're going to do season 1. We're doing Power Book 3, season 1, Raising Kanan. Well, Dwayne, you could
Yes.
just go in. Just how you
Listen,
feel about this, Dwayne? Let's
first,
talk about the show.
first of all, I'm gonna get this out the way right now. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. Okay, I loved it. Okay, I love the music. I love the cars. I love the clothes. It took me back to me. This is our age group, man. Okay, you getting you a slice of pizza. You're playing the arcade games in the arcade, man. You know what I mean? You know, hey, let's just. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. My favorite character is Unique. That's my man right there.
And it's fun. It's funny you brought up Unique because we mentioned two people that we grew up with that's no longer with us.
Right.
Uh, how you brought up one, I brought up one, and how Unique's character being cool back then was not forced. You just was cool as hell,
Cool as
or
hell.
you wasn't. It wasn't no. We didn't use the word swag, and
Right.
Unique put you in mind of both of the gentlemen that we talked about that we grew up with. They just had a natural coolness about them, and they just was, as we would say, cut from a different cloth.
Yeah, man.
They were both great dresses, as you see. Unique had on his fur. He even told Rock, "Why don't you bring your coat down, man? Let me
I'm
work on it a
taking it
little
up
bit."
for you.
You know,
Yes.
Dwayne. One of the things that I want to say from the bat, and I know we don't never want to compare shows, never
No.
want to even compare the Power
No.
series,
No.
but I just have to give Courtney Kemp, 50, and even Sasha Penn, who we just got put on. He was the writer of this episode and
Right.
probably the writer of the whole thing. Their casting is just, you may not understand why a person would be in a role until you actually see it, but their casting for all their shows are impeccable. They like you said, this we're the target audience for Power Book 3, so it speaks to us. The music. I mean, it's no way that a person is a certain age, I'll say between 40 and 50, could watch this and not love the music because we
Right.
feel like that was our generation. And, of course, we know we're going to hear some woo. We know the type of music that we're going to hear
You
each
gonna see them.
episode.
You
So,
gonna see them MPVs. You gonna
yeah.
see the MPVs. You saw his mother pulled up in the Supra back in '85. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She was smoking the cool cigarettes. Is anybody still smoking cools? She was smoking the cool cigarettes. She had the earrings going on, and there was something very subtle in this episode that I don't think a lot of people picked up on. You know what club they was in when they went to see Hugo? That's truth. That's truth. It's the same setup. You can look in the background. That's Ghost Club. They already showed you
Hmm.
back then in '91. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So
I thought
it
it was
gives you
very
good
interesting,
insight
though.
into Kanan, right? Because if you watch Power, you wouldn't think Kanan was this smart kid. Obviously, Kanan is really smart. Could have went to a school like Choate. He could have went to a school like Choate back in the day. You know what I mean? So really smart kid, but he just loved that street more than he loved those books, man. So
I
his
mean,
mother,
the clothes, the name plates. I think everything was just all, as we say, all the special effects in the movie, the show was really good, and it's amazing that literally they hit it out the park for a first episode. I asked you on the phone. I said, "You think 50 is going to narrate the whole thing?" And you said no because basically he just narrated and said, You seen how my story ended, and now you see how it began. Now you basically going to see in between." And
but I read something where it said he is going to narrate the whole season.
okay.
He going to narrate the whole season. I did see that, but the word I want to use, it was very authentic. It was very authentic. It was New York in the late '80s and the '90s. It's very authentic from the way they talk, the way they dress. You saw the Jokers had the feline sweatsuits on. You know what I mean? She was dressed how the ladies dressed in the day back then. Um, the dialogue, the dialogue was excellent. You know,
When they, how did you feel when you heard them speaking the supreme mathematics?
see what I'm saying? It was good, man. And then you got my man, my other boy D Wiz, man. D Wiz about that business. Showed you
I
that
got
the other day.
so your favorite character right now is unique. You know, mine is my boy Famous, man.
Yeah, it's close because Famous is kind of funny, man.
Famous
You
had
know
me
what I mean?
laughing when he said, what am I, he said in that scene when they went to go kill old boy, he said, I don't got no gun. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go around there and yell and
Yell
they
at him.
gonna run. It wasn't, what's funny about that scene, Dwayne, and when he said it, usually when we watch certain shows and we critique them, we'll say, oh, it was a throwaway line and it was corny. It was a throwaway line, but it was funny as hell because he was
Funny
dead
as
serious.
hell, yo.
He was dead
Listen,
serious.
listen, man. It's crazy. It's like fifth knocked this one out of the park, man. Um, just the whole thing of it, you know,
I'm
and
gonna ask you a question. One of the things that I noticed from the writer Sasha Penn is you kind of, Dwayne, you kind of see how the power universe and what 50 and Courtney has been saying they've been trying to do, it's literally on the same page. I mean, even with Power Book 2 at one time when we discussed that, I was I was a little critiquing it a little bit, and you said, no, you're looking at it the wrong way. Power Book 2 was basically the closure of St. Patrick. It was
yep,
basically the closure of
closing
Power,
that
the
family.
original Power.
That's
So
it.
now we get into really Tariq and and the Tejadas. And what I did like about this is you saw, like you said, you saw little subtle things that was in this where you could say, okay, we saw Jukebox just as a cop and she liked the girls.
Yeah,
So now we see the beginning of Jukebox, and
and
that
you
was
see,
really his cousin. And she went,
and
and
you
even her
see why.
father was like, "Where was you at?" Like
Yeah,
they were. That wasn't no made up. That
no,
that's my cousin. This is
and now you see why a cop was dealing with Kanan on that level. You see why now, because was she a dirty cop? Maybe, but she was more down for her cousin than being a dirty cop. No
yeah.
matter what her cousin was into, they was raised to have each other's back. Like you said, like her father was like, "Where you was at?" In between eating the hospital apple juice, applesauce. That
I
joint.
don't. The person that's on Facebook that said it feels like another get rich or die trying story in 50 life. I know that was one of Keisha's things. Keisha was like, she didn't want to look at it and make it feel like that. But actually, I don't think it is. And the only reason why is because if it really is going to explain Kanan. I guess Kanan's backdrop. I guess Kanan was after 50's life, so I hope that it does not go the route of get rich or die trying. But we got to understand that I think Kanan's character was loosely based off of 50's life, so it probably will be a lot of similarities. But that was one of Keisha's biggest things. She didn't want to feel like she was watching a series of Get Rich or Die Trying. But one thing about 50 is he's gonna big up Jamaica Queens, and he's gonna show those areas, and he's gonna try to highlight those areas for the people that never been to Queens, and you see how the dynamic is that Queens is you got different areas where literally you don't see too many black people, and then you got some areas where it's mixed.
Listen, I loved all the cars with the BBSs. You know, his uncle had the red Benz, had the gold BBSs on it. Unique had his BMW. My man was like, "Is it bulletproof?" The quiz was like, "Yo,
But
it's
what's funny when he pulled up in the BM, right? And they look, that's how we used to look at the older guys when they
yeah,
had their BMs and stuff. Um,
Come
we
on,
looked at
man.
the guys and be like, "Yo, you being amazing." And guys in the street back then were
Listen,
like real live movie stars.
right. Like I used to go with my brother to Orange Park, and all the rides would be out there in Orange Park, and brothers would be out there shining up their ribs, talking to the ladies and just politicking, man. And that gives me this feel. I didn't get the get rich or die trying. I don't think it's that. I think it's just building up. Like I honestly don't think they will introduce Tommy, Jamie, or Angela this season. I don't think they have to. I think
I
they
think they
could
could
do
play it
that.
out a lot longer because remember
Yeah,
that Kanan was older than them, and
exactly.
even what's the guy what's the guy that was cool? Not excuse me for forgetting everybody in the chat. It was a guy that was cool with Jamie and Jamie and Tommy, and Kanan used to always mention his name. It's
Wasn't
another
it?
guy.
Wasn't it D Wiz?
Was it?
Because
It might have been D
D
Wiz. So
Wiz
you
was
know,
mentioned.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
D
it was
Wiz
D
was
Wiz.
mentioned.
So you
Right.
know D Wiz character is gonna bring Tommy and Ghost around. And you kind of like D Wiz character. You was like, yo, I
I
see him.
do.
He just
I
got
like
the perfect guy to play the
perfect.
role.
He's a perfect compliment to the Kanan character. And that's what's going to be interesting, right? Because what power the series has taught us all is it's about building your team, right? Ghost had his team. Tommy, Tasha played her role. They had their team. Now you got Power Book 2, Tariq building his team. You understand what I'm saying? So Kanan, his people gonna tell him, his mother, his two uncles gonna tell him, you gotta build your strong team. And you see who Kanan team gonna be. Jukebox, D Wiz, Famous. It's gonna be his team, man. And he gonna build this team.
One thing I like, I told you I like Famous because Famous it just always seemed like you always got a guy that's in your crew that they down for you. They might not be a fighter or a fighting type, but they down for you. And Famous is like the guy that's always around. I like the role that they played. Definitely the diner scene was fun. Oh, you just happen to be coming by the diner that we come to every Wednesday.
You
I
you
thought that
know
was interesting.
you know what I thought of when I thought of Famous? The little kid with Tariq.
Yeah, with
Jaden.
Brendan. Yeah,
Brandon, oh my bad, Brandon.
yeah.
That's what it is. You need that comic relief type person. You know what I mean? I agree, King.
That's
The
one of the
show
things.
was raw. It was
That's one of the
raw,
things,
King.
Dwayne, that they do with their casting. They kind of cast the supporting roles very good. And this is what we always say, like, you could even the way they did first, let's just go back to First Power, right? We didn't know it was gonna be a Kanan, a
No.
spinoff. We didn't know they was gonna spin off. But because the role, the name, he got popular and it was 50, it was easy to do a spinoff. And now Tommy has a spinoff because
Yeah.
they make their supporting roles have a story that we don't know, and they don't minimize them so much where they're just like, oh, they support. I don't want to know. They don't have an interest in life, and you kind of see within this that you're going to be intrigued. You're going to be intrigued to know is Famous sister going to be dating his uncle?
Let's be honest, man. I think people really gotta give 50 and Courtney a lot of credit because this is on some Dick Wolf stuff where Dick Wolf got 6, 7 series going on at the same time, man. Like his whole entertainment, Wolf Entertainment. Now you look at 50, he gonna have 5 powers going on. He gonna have BMF going on. Like he's built something very powerful, man. And all these series can stand alone. Tommy's series gonna stand alone, separate from Power Book 2. The Tate series is gonna stand alone. This
And that
series
was
right here is gonna stand alone. And the thing about it, with this series and the way that they set Power Book 3 up, man, this thing could go on for 4 or 5 seasons easily. Cause you're gonna
and
see
that
the
was one of the things,
rise.
Dwayne. That was one of the things that we talked about was even though he and Courtney they have this power universe thing that they're doing with stars, we're comparing, let's just say for lack of better words, we're comparing it to the big boys. The big boys is HBO, Showtime. They promoted this Power Book 3 with massive promotion. I mean, I'm surprised that Showtime hasn't promoted some of their shows like this. Even with HBO, they didn't. HBO, for a lot of people that never that started watching The Wire, HBO did not promote The Wire like this. They didn't do a lot of stuff, and I know it's almost 20 years since The Wire
Hey,
first dropped
yeah,
its, but they
it's a
didn't
different
promote.
era with it's a different era with like Instagram and Facebook. Like it's a little bit easier to hit with clips and stuff like that. But man, like I love shows like this where they may be quote unquote bad people, but you root for them.
Yeah,
Like I want to see Rock. I want to see her win, man. Like I think she dope. She love her son. She trying to save her son from the life that her and her brothers are living. But then she realized I can't save him from this life.
yeah.
And it took Unique to break it down to her. Look who his father is. Look who his mother is. You ain't keeping him from the streets. He was like basically born into it. You know what I mean? And it got enough comic relief, like where his older uncle sit there eating food all the time,
Yeah, yeah.
and he was like, "Yo, don't sleep on the hospital
Applesauce.
apple."
At the big man done got shot all up.
Yeah, yo, don't sleep on it. You know what I mean? And just the whole serious thing. And even 50, when the first scene where he get beat down, and he was like, "Damn,
Look at me running.
look at me." you
You
know,
know,
it,
that's the
listen,
funny thing is that
and
50,
how many
50 knows
people?
when to say it. He knows when to say stuff at the right time.
But let's be honest, Q. We all know somebody, or we've experienced ourselves, where things may not have went right on the playground when we was a kid, and you go home, and it's always the mother. It's never the father.
Yeah.
Oh, like, yo, what you doing here? What you crying for? No, we going back down there. It was always the mother.
The batteries was old school.
Yeah,
I know guys that know about the lock and the sock. I remember a time where I did not the battery thing, but I put some rocks in a sock one time.
don't tell them too much.
Guy I used to know. You know, he put a rock in his sock, and then he decided to start hitting people with bats and stuff like that. But it's funny, like how he he was forced. His mother taught him basically not to be no punk, and then like he felt like he had to protect her, and it shows some of the dynamic with the mother and son dynamic, and I think that's very authentic of how young young boys always feel like they have to protect their mother.
Absolutely, absolutely. But what was your favorite part of it, man? Like the
You
stories,
know, you
what
know, you know. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you, like we talked privately about it. I literally watched it twice.
you know?
I couldn't get tired of it. If I was to watch it again right now, I couldn't get tired of it
Don't
because it was like we said, it brought you in. First, we was always trying to see what was going to be the theme song. Okay, he used his song, and then the music throughout the show was so much, you know, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, and that music takes you back to a time like yo. And then even so much that I liked about the clothes and the lingo, the earrings, the nameplates. I even said to you, yo, when they shot old boy, you notice the boots he had on? He had on some he had on the
also
tall boots, you know. Um, so it made me think about like that. And then even you noticed the other day when old boy had the 8 ball jacket. I mean,
good.
that's what people wore back then. So it was interesting.
And it was cool. Like I know one of the posts. Hey, listen, y'all telling too much. Come on, King. You and Q telling too much, man. Like we gotta keep that private. Say somebody, yo, I know a dude that did that. Like don't tell on ourselves. But it was cool, man. Like I really enjoyed it. And I was talking to a young fella, and I was like, yeah, man, we had arcades. like for us in our neighborhood, we used to go up to Harry's and Maplewood, man. You had arcades, 25 cents to play this, that, the change machine. Everybody know about the change machine. They used to have that in the Union Market too, at that arcade. So it like I said, it was very authentic. I think it was very well written. Um, and you're meeting new characters. Like everybody on here is fresh faces. You know what I mean? A couple of them you've seen in other shows or whatever, but for the most, because I laughed the whole time because the oldest uncle was in a show called Ballers. So when I first saw him come up on
And
the
he was
screen,
always sarcastic in that show.
right? So when I first saw him come up on the screen without him even saying a word, I started laughing. I think just to touch on this, I think Omar Epps is going to play a wonderful. I think this is going to be a wonderful role for Omar Epps.
One good thing I like about Omar Epps is that if for those of us that grew up with Omar Epps, we basically grew up with Omar Epps from Juice.
Yeah,
is that he never overshadows his co-actors.
you're right.
A lot of times you can actually see it on screen where a guy's persona would be so big where you'd be like, oh, he's outshining them. I mean, Omar Epps, if you start really thinking about it, he's got a nice catalog in the last 25 years of his acting. So I think like this role kind of is good for him. To show that grimy side of his acting. I know that we saw the coming attractions, and he told Unique, "I'm betting on you." So we don't know how it's going to turn out because we don't know what happens with Rock. That's the one thing that we don't know. They never talked about Kanan enough in Power. We just knew that Kanan was in jail.
Right.
And Ghost and Tasha had set him up. We never knew anything about his family, except Sean and the baby mother. So eventually, they're gonna hopefully get up to that. So
yeah, but I thought it was excellent. I thought it started off very good. It got me wanting to see the next episode, and so when you get to that, it makes you feel good. And again, I don't even think you're gonna find out about Jamie and Tommy and Angela this season.
You don't even but believe it or not, Dwayne, I think that'll be predicated based off of us, the audience. I think the audience for a while, based off of how the first episode went and how we are as people like to talk about the episode. So a lot of people are gonna come late to this because it's summertime and a lot of people ain't probably watch it. But what's gonna happen is, based off of us and the ratings, they might be like, you know what, we can keep this story going for like 3-4 seasons. It already has been updated to another season, so they already got season 2 in the works. They already got approved for season 2. Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
See,
and that was basically based off the advanced screening. So,
oh wow,
so we got to understand, like even with what he's doing with Stars is basically he's helping them build that network.
He
so
is. He is.
It's interesting, when you told me who Sasha Penn was, and I looked up Sasha Penn. He's an interesting guy. He's Sasha Penn. Because I know a lot of people don't like our stories being told by everybody. Sasha Penn is a Jewish white guy. Right. So when you see him and you see how much he's invested into Stars and into Power, you know that he can hear 50 and Courtney's vision.
Yep. But hey, man, we don't have to belabor it. I was hoping we get. Yeah, they can, Nicole. They can keep it going.
I mean, you're right, King. King said it's going to be the house that 50 built.
No, he's right. 100%. You just see.
I mean, the funniest thing about 50, even in his social media stuff, when he plays and all that stuff, 50 is always hashtag Stars, hashtag Powers. The one good thing is he's an excellent marketable person. He knows what he's doing.
But look what 50 did, right? And he let you know even before this show, right? So you got this, okay? Then you got BMF starting in September. So this is going to end. BMF is going to kick off, right? So then BMF is going to have its run, and then what's going to happen? Power Book 2 comes back for season 2 in November, right? So then when that's done and it goes into January, boom, he hit you with Power Book 4. So he's going to always have fresh shows on going from the summer until like February. Then he'll take that March, April, June off, come back in July and do it all over again. So you're going to always have one of his shows relevant on Stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is smart. And even they did the marathon all week with Power, basically to bring you up to speed on everything.
And he petty, so let something happen with somebody on the shot, aka Lala. What he went and snatched her behind right back up. Snatched her right back up and brought her right back into his world. Even though her character on Power was murdered. He brought Lala right back. Yeah, I'll let you go play around with the shot for a little bit, make you a little bit of money, but you're going to come back home. You know, that's a 50 power play, man. He had somebody from Snowfall in this, from what I understand.
Yeah, the other uncle.
Yeah, I haven't seen all the Snowfall yet.
Well, Dwayne, I'm you said an 8.
I gave it an 8.5. I gave it an 8.5.
Dwayne, I gotta be honest. Based off of what we've been watching lately, my expectation for this was not as good as it. The show exceeded the expectation.
Right.
My expectation it was going to come in real slow. It didn't come in slow, in my opinion. I have to give it an 8.5 myself. I mean, I think it really knocked it out the park. One thing that I excuse me. One thing that 50 and what they're doing with Power is, I know a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but they ain't afraid to kill no characters off. And that means a lot for their shows, because that's what makes it not only authentic, but like, oh, this person got killed. From the door, we seen Kanan kill somebody. I mean,
yeah.
You know, so it ain't like we're going to waste time with it.
But it's funny, Q, because you hipped it to me. And y'all know I watched these episodes. And Q said he watched it, what? How many times you said you watched it?
Twice.
Yeah. Well, I done watched it 4 times, man. Because I know I needed to, be ready. And you see, I got a lot more life for this review than I have for the last one.
Nicole gave it a 9.
Nicole gave it a what?
A 9.
Yeah, I was trying to, I want to give it a 10.
So let me ask you, Dwayne. We talked about the scene.
Okay, but let me just say this, because I wanted to give you credit for pointing something out to me. When Kanan was to D Wiz, he was like, "Did I shoot him or did you shoot him?"
Yeah, they ain't know who shot him, so both of them accusing themselves of the body. Both of them gonna claim the body. but look, let me ask you, Dwayne. The scene we talked about. How did you feel about that scene at the beach after he shot the first bullet and she said, "You see that? That bullet is out there in the universe and it got your name on it." How'd you feel about that?
I thought that was a dope line, man, because she basically told him, "You in the game now, bro. Shoot that bullet. Now there's a bullet out there all with your name on it." So she letting him know, you get in this game, hey, you die in this game. Yeah. And she didn't want that for him. Like, you could tell this woman did not want that for her son. But Kanan made a good point too. Well, why you ain't sent me to grandma's before now?
Basically, he called his mother out saying, "You sending me mixed messages."
Right.
Yeah.
But even the older uncle was like, "Well, the school, yeah, it was, King. It really was." Even the older uncle was like, "Well, this school was good for us." And she was like, "No, it wasn't. It wasn't even good for us." Like, you know what I mean? And then Jukebox was like, "Yeah, I'm too old to take that test now." Like,
Jukebox looked like she was a little upset with her father for that one.
She was. So it's just
other than that, really enjoyed the episode. Really looking forward to next Saturday, 12 next Saturday, 12 o'clock, Dwayne. Next Saturday. As soon as it drops, you gonna watch it?
Oh yeah, you know me, man. You know me. I was on it because I was a little upset. I was like, I went on demand. I was like, yo, it ain't on demand. What's going on? But see, 50 of them again, being smart. If you want to see it early, you want to see it at midnight, you got to go on the Stars app. Ain't no going on demand. You got to go on Stars app. That's just another genius power play. You know, um, hate him or love him, 50 do what he do. You know, I don't always like his antics. But like I said, hate him or love him, you got to give the brother the respect for what he's building with this power universe. You know, it never ends. Now think about it. He says that. It never ends. And
Yeah, that's one of the things that he says never ends, right?
Never ends. And he could just build on this and build on this and build on this. And there's so many years he could get out of this vehicle. You know, believe it or not, if you think about it, he could bring Amari Hardwick back, depending on how he handles the way these series are. You know, he could bring them back.
Yeah, and that's one thing is that you always, outside of Kanan and certain other characters, you kind of always could open the door up with certain people because.
Well, think about it. They killed Kanan, but now they brought him back.
Yeah.
He's just going back and telling his story up until the point, and he even says it there. You know my ending. Now you see my beginning. Now I'm gonna tell you the in between.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. Genius movie.
So, other than that, definitely awesome episode, 8.5. With that, I don't really have much more to say, Wayne.
Nah, just give me more unique. Keep unique coming. Sprinkle on some of that famous.
So unique is your guy, famous is my guy.
Yeah, famous your guy. You know, I always have a guy, just like, you know, my boy is Kane is my boy. So now I'm a unique guy, man. And I like Lulu. I like him too. He's smooth, he quiet. You know he gonna get famous as sister. And it's gonna be interesting to see how Kanan's relationship develops with the young lady, because the whole hood know that he killed her boyfriend. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they wrap that up. It's a lot to look forward to, man. So I hope it is not a situation where they hit us with a banger and then it like fizzles out. I don't think so. I don't see how this one can fizzle. But time will tell. Hey man, I appreciate you for putting back-to-back reviews on tonight. We got it done. And hey, listen, just keep hitting us with the chat. Y'all hit Quentin up. I saw somebody put on the Let's Talk page. They wanted to talk about Deshaun before we even did the review. And, you know, I put something up there about the Rising Kanan, and we had some conversation about that. So we can still conversate about the show. If y'all on the page and y'all put stuff up there, we'll respond.
That's right. With that, we're going to close the show. You know, everybody have a good week. And hopefully next Monday we'll be back at the same time.
Yeah, and we're going to close.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please continue to join us here for conversations on hot topics, interviews with special guests, and our featured programs such as the Poetry Corner, where you can hear dope poets from around the country creating that Poet Cafe vibe, and Crown Rules, our virtual book club on love, intimacy, and healthy relationships. Let's Talk. We are everywhere you want to be. Follow us on YouTube at Let's Talk, Facebook at Let's Talk, and on Instagram at Let's Talk 1931. Have a suggestion? Give us a call at 570-795-4283. Or for business inquiries, please email us at ltalk5600@gmail. Let's talk. I order you, you order me, and we go together. Please don't forget to like, share, follow, or subscribe.